Today's episode talking about never be normal and how that aligns with us learning and growing and the journey of being comfortable in our own skin and being our authentic selves. We're going to look at 5 different areas today, how to rock out being comfortable with who you are and allowing yourself to be who you are, whatever the heck that means, in a sense that it's not trying to conform to other people's expectations and allowing ourselves to feel this, whether it's subtle or severely extreme forms of pressure from social media, from friends, from family, whatever it is, personally, professionally. Sometimes we can feel super squished and pushed into this vice of what we're supposed to be, making us what we're really not. And before we jump into today's episode, would love you to think about, if you dig the Goodness Chick podcast, hopping on goodnesschick.com and becoming a sponsor, whether that's through PayPal or Venmo. Take both, whether it's a one-time or it's a monthly donation. It is super uber appreciated, keeping the Goodness Chick podcast mission and message going full steam ahead, my friends. So talking about never be normal, it's actually a term my son and I, he brings up quite a lot. You know, being different, being yourself, mom, never be normal. And it's something it makes me smile when I think about, but the more I kind of kicked it around thinking about, there's so much pressure to kind of be a certain way, even though there's so many differences within our society, there's still this subvert pressure to kind of just fit in, not make any waves, being a certain way. And maybe you don't feel that. Maybe you can agree and this aligns with you. I want to look at 5 different ways for us to really rock out being who we were intended to be. So the first thing I want to look at a little bit today is kind of allowing ourselves to learn to be authentic. You hear that and it's like authentic. What does it really mean? Learning to just really be ourselves. And whether, you struggled with it starting in grade school, or it's something you've never struggled with, or it's progressed as you've gotten older, I'm not really sure where you stand. But being authentic, sometimes we can be lacking authenticity without really realizing we lack authenticity, that we conform, or maybe we take on different personas around different people and not realizing we're not being our true selves. It's very, very easy to kind of be lured into this temptation, if you'll call it, about being and looking and acting and coming across a certain way. And that really can change with the different people that you associate with, whether that's, within your job, your workplace, it could be at home, it could be with friends. And I've found that with different people I've worked with over the years, that there's this kind of chameleon change, and people not even necessarily realizing that. And with that, it's this underlying desire to just people please, this underlying desire to just kind of, I want to fit in. And it's nice to fit in, but sometimes fitting in is with that sacrificing who we really are. And so what I really want to focus on today, these 5 different areas of helping people really kind of, how the heck can I really be my true self? Kind of exciting when we get on this journey of looking at being true to ourselves. And it's easy to say, can be challenging and a struggle for many, many people. Absolutely. So learning to be authentic, being who you are, not what people want you to be, or what people think they want you to be. This connects, bottom line, the root of this is the ability to love ourselves, even with the things that we're uncomfortable with. We all have flaws. We all have flukes. We all have things that we might not necessarily like about ourselves. And there's things we can change and things that we can't change. And life is about realizing, in one of my last episodes, talking about the things we can control and accepting the things that we can't control. There's certain things about our body that we can't control. I mean, yeah, you can, nip and tuck and all that jazz, but really ourselves, learning to be comfortable with, this is how God made me, right? This is how God made me. And then there's other aspects of our life, our personality, that maybe could use some fine tuning or growth. And it's not about, beating ourselves up over these things, but saying, how can I be comfortable with who I am? What are things do I have to really just be at peace with and see as a beautiful attribute about myself instead of a fluke or a flaw? And instead of, it's like allowing ourselves to kind of look at this discomfort we might have and allow ourselves permission. It's a big one. Allow ourselves permission to be flawed. And it's kind of thinking about that, saying like, well, allowing myself permission. But it's true. We can be really, really hard on ourselves with all these things that we might not be comfortable with about ourselves. We are a work in progress. What areas do we want to work on? And instead of getting frustrated and thinking we're less than because of these things that we might not be comfortable or fully happy with, it's saying, okay, I'm a work in progress. I am a blank canvas, right? What have I done? What kind of paints, color, things am I splattering on my canvas to bring color and life? That canvas is never fully done until you've taken your last breath. Number 2 is allowing ourselves to look in the mirror. So I don't know about you, but there's times that I wake up in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, whoa, right? My hair is funky town. I have bags. I have lines on my face, right? That I say are signs of living and being, but still it's like, whoa, man, I'm feeling it, right? But instead of just beating yourselves up about how we look, how do you look? It's appreciating who you are, allowing ourselves to look in the mirror and what are we telling ourselves about ourselves? Because that is really, really important and significant. What do you like about yourself? Start writing it down. What do you like about yourself? And do not tell me that you don't like everything, because it's starting to dig. What do you like? For years, seriously, for years and years, elementary, middle school, not until like, I'm going to say really late into high school, early college, did I go from not brushing my hair out with somebody is curly hair. Brushing your hair out is a no-no, right? You look like super frizzy fest every year imaginable. And that's what I used to do. And I hated my hair I was self-conscious about my hair. And it was a number of years ago now that it was like, okay, my hair's a part of me. How do I work on making it what I want it to be, right? Now, it might sound like really trivial, but your hair's a part of you, right? Whether you have hair or you don't hair, all these different things about who we are. So now I actually went the other day, chopped my hair, made it short. It curls a little bit easier. So that was something that was in my control. Not all of us have that ability if you don't have hair or whatever. But what I'm saying is learning to look at yourself and love yourself. I now look at my hair and there's days that it's still looking funky. I like my hair. I appreciate my hair. And these things are really important to be able to point out the positives about our attributes. All right. It can be super, super, super frustrating at sometimes of what we look at. Okay. If I had a magic wand, I would say I would like to lose a little of the love handles on me. I would like my thighs to be a little more toned and thin, but I will do what I can do to do what I can do right now. So I woke up a little bit earlier this morning. I did a workout. Can I do that every day? I can't. But instead of us looking and saying, here's the negatives about ourselves, what little things can we do to tone that up, whether that's physically, emotionally, spiritually? We are a work in progress. If we solely reflect at ourselves, and it's important to look at yourself, but if we just nitpick and we look at the negative, it beats us up. We feel worse about ourselves. In order to be able to be our authentic selves, we have to be able to pursue the pursuit of loving ourselves. Part of that pursuit is the pursuit of being able to look at ourselves and find the positives. What do you love about yourself? What are things that you're not so hot about, but we're going to work on? Everything's a journey. Everything's a process. Number three, what are things about you that you love and things that need some work? Covered that a little bit in this last one, but what are some things? Writing it down, starting, here is the big one thing at a time. If you write, these are the 877 things I don't like about myself, you'll be like, what? It's taking one thing at a time. Take one thing at a time and be kind to yourself. I will tell you, we can be really, really rough on ourselves sometimes. We can be really hard on ourselves. We can beat ourselves up of how we feel like we fall short in all different aspects of our life. And when we have different hats that we wear and we think in each and every one of them, we're just not good enough and we fall short. And I just don't love anything about this. It's reforming it. It's reshaping it. It's rephrasing it. Because when we feed ourselves negative messages and we believe them, we truly do not fully love ourselves and we cannot live up to being our authentic selves. We can't, man. Because number 4 Is that number 4? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. The things we tell ourselves, really important. I cannot tell you how the messages we send ourselves not only has an impact on how we view ourselves, how we treat ourselves, whether or not we love ourselves, whether or not we are being our authentic selves, but it impacts how other people around us see ourselves, how they see us, how they treat us, how they view us. Do they respect you if you don't respect yourself? If you put on a false facade and you are truly not authentic, right? You kind of put on different vibes or different personas in different settings. People pick up on that. That's something I noticed about myself a number of years ago. I'm like, why am I acting differently? And it wasn't massively, significantly noticeable, but it was noticeable to me. I am a people pleaser. I've struggled with that a big chunk of my life. It was me wanting to be accepted. It was me not wanting to make waves. And so it was comfortable really not being true to myself. And it's not about being confrontational, but it's about being your real self. It's allowing ourselves to stop comparing ourselves to other people, because it is like this thorn of comparison. Comparing ourselves is so easy to do without realizing that we're doing it. You scroll on social media and it's like, wow, this person, dude, they're able to do this every single day. Or man, they look awesome. Look at that family picture. Everybody is smiling and not attacking each other. Or, how do they look so happy every single day? And, they don't have a migraine, twice a week, or they, don't have lower back pain, or they have a job, or, they're able to keep their house looks awesome. We begin to compare ourselves. And when we do that, it's us saying we're inadequate. Now, there's a positive to comparing ourselves in a way that can be motivation and inspirational, kind of people that just make us want to be better, and we're not comparing ourselves to in a way that it's detracting from our authentic being. That's different. Not everybody can do that, but that's something also to look at. Who can inspire me in a really beautiful way, but also knowing that everybody's human. I always say this when I talk to young people. It's like, who's your role model? They will disappoint you because they're human. They will let you down. You have posters of, famous NBA players and NFL and whatever, musicians. And I'll always say, it's okay to look up to them, but know that they're going to let you down. They're human, right? They're going to say things they shouldn't be saying. They're going to tweet things they shouldn't be tweeting. They're going to maybe live a life that really is not reflective of somebody of strong character. And so for me, what I have found is finding people that I actually know, and I know that they're not human, but saying they're doing really awesome things. They're making a difference in the world, and it spurs me on to want to do better. It spurs me on to get excited about living. It gets me excited about really that challenge of getting to know myself better. There's so many people that truly do not know who they really are. They're caught up in this false pretense of who they think they're supposed to be to make other people happy, and without even realizing it, it's draining them of energy, and they're unhappy because I don't really know who I am. And thinking that, okay, if you're maybe in the spot, don't beat yourself up over it. Get excited about getting to know you. Get excited about being in this pursuit, this journey of learning how to love yourself. Learning how to love yourself. And I will put this out there. The greatest example of love that I have had in my life is my relationship with God. As a Christian, it's something that, it was a long journey throughout my life, but realizing the definition of love isn't through social media. The definition of love isn't on a t-shirt. And love is very fleeting in our society. And for me, it was as a Christian, that God sent his son, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, to give his life, to make a way for people to go to heaven. Right. And there's some of you listening that, might not, you're not a Christian. You don't know what you believe in, or you do know what you believe in. You're Muslim, you're Buddhist, you're whatever, you're agnostic. I say pursue peace, pursue answers, pursue, just being at peace. I think so many people aren't at peace, and with that don't know themselves. And for me as a Christian, There's times I let people down in terms of my definition of what love is supposed to be to them. My husband has let me down. I've let him down because we're human, dude. We're human. And for me to reflect on the greatest gift ever given in terms of the true definition of love was Jesus Christ got the heck beaten out of him, was spit on and ridiculed and hung on a cross to die, right? And he did that for us. And there's greater love than no man than that those who gives their life. And that was what Jesus did. Love of ourselves truly is about letting go, truly is about learning what real love is. And we've been fed this really totally twisted thing of that, to love yourself is selfish, and love, is connected to lust, or love is whatever. We could go off on a tangent here, but just pure love that God made you. There's seriously, dude, only one you ever. In the future, there's never going to be another you. In the past, no you. There's you. And you got flaws. There's things about yourself physically you're like, what? I would change that. Or internally, right? Or things, you struggle with, whether it's patience or anxiety or getting frustrated or just feeling, you fill in a blank. We are creatures of imperfection. But you're loved. And loving yourself, dude, start praying about it. Pray about learning how to love yourself, about having peace. It's pretty rad. It is pretty stinking rad. Learning how to love yourself. And I am still on that journey. Every single day I'm still on a journey, right? But learning how to love myself, because I've realized when I love myself and I connect that to self-care and being authentic and true to myself, I'm just seriously better and more effective and more efficient at everything else in my life. And that connects to self-acceptance. That's number five. And asking yourself, like, self-acceptance, part of that is self-care. How can I take care of myself? Self-love and self-acceptance truly commingle. What is it that makes your heart happy? What is it that brings you joy? And so many people think that they're pursuing joy and making other people happy in their joy, right? Hey, do you want to go for a run? I hate running, right? I hate running, but I'll run. And I'm actually not saying this myself. I used to really, really enjoy running with a group of women. Running by myself is one of the bane of my existence, because I just don't enjoy it. When I'm with other women, I dig it. It's empowering. But what is your thing that, like, maybe you've done or you're doing that, like, you're doing just to make other people happy? Get creative about what it is that can help you with self-care. I woke up this morning and for like a half an hour, I did like this like salsa kickboxing combo workout. And seriously, I was smiling. I was digging it. I was like, seriously, like the sun wasn't even up yet. But that's part of my self-care. Praying is part of my self-care. Like, what's your self-care? Is it pottery? Is it playing the guitar? Is it writing? Is it just, sitting and connecting with good friends? Like twice a month, this is part of my joy, is connecting with these people on the phone or whatever it is, or in person if you're able to do that. What's your joy? Self-care is part of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is part of loving ourselves and the aspect of never be normal, not conforming to what people think you're supposed to be, and you think what they want you to be or something, and that's getting all misconstrued. But being yourself. There's no sense of normal anymore. Be who you are, and loving your flaws, and loving your funky glitter colors, and loving, the neon, the flair, and instead of seeing it as a quirk, seeing it as an asset, seeing it as something just, another bedazzled jewel in your you-ness. It's pretty cool. Personality traits. Very last one that goes with self-acceptance. There are things that maybe you've allowed yourself to be, and there are things that you don't, that are just falling under your expectations. What is it about you that's truly you? Truly your personality, truly your traits. There are things about each of us that we want to work on, and that's okay. Write them down. What is it that keeps your authentic awareness intact? Things that make you better, focusing on you, self-care, reminding yourself in the mirror every day. What is something that you rock out? What's something that you just love? What is something that you appreciate about yourself, and rocking it out? There's no sense of normalcy. You are awesome. You are an individual unlike any other. It's learning to love yourself because you are awesome. You are awesome, and you need to say it more, reminding yourself of the beautiful things about yourself, the things that you want to work on just to become stronger and just more awesome. So today, as you go on your day, never be normal, my friends. Be yourself and who you were intended to be. And as we go on, I'm wishing you truly an epic amount of peace, love, and goodness.